The Caribbean region is highly vulnerable to recurrent disasters such as tropical storms, earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, and floods. The Red Cross is working throughout the Caribbean to reduce disaster risk and strengthen emergency preparedness and response programs. With funding from the Government of Canada, the Canadian Red Cross strengthens regional coordination and builds the capacity of the Guyana and Jamaica Red Cross to implement programs that reduce risks in communities vulnerable to disasters. Building capacity to manage and respond to disasters is a critical part of the Government of Canada's commitment to a more prosperous and integrated Caribbean. Disasters in the Caribbean often have regional impacts, which require responses coordinated at the regional level to be effective. Red Cross promotes regional coordination and advocacy to strengthen disaster mitigation, preparedness, and response. Lack of coordination can leave community needs unmet and limit participation and access. The Red Cross plays an active role in regional coordination for disaster management and risk reduction.
So my name is Priyadarshini Rai, and I'm the Disaster Management Officer for the IFRC office in Trinidad, which is the Regional Representation Office for the Caribbean. Over the last 4 to 5 years, the Red Cross has played a more active leadership role in the Caribbean by being part of the Civil Society Subsector Committee. What this allows us to do, one, is to give direct input into the CDM strategy for the region. But it also allows us interaction with civil society actors at a regional level. So what distinguishes Red Cross work in regional coordination is that we capture a lot of local knowledge and we use those as best practices both nationally and regionally.
Red Cross also actively supports the Caribbean Disaster and Emergency Management Agency.
The Caribbean Disaster Emergency Management Agency was born out of a need from Caribbean countries to have one voice in disaster risk management and emergency response.
The Red Cross works with the agency to develop disaster management strategies and provide feedback from a civil society perspective. The Red Cross has a unique role as an auxiliary to national governments, a relationship that is formalized in both international and national law.
As auxiliaries to the government, we recognize that we are not a part of government, but we support government to provide important critical services that are needed to ensure that the government mandate is carried out.
The Red Cross's commitment to impartiality, neutrality, and independence allows us access to work with communities.
One of the benefits that the government gets from having the Red Cross as an auxiliary is that the Red Cross is trusted as neutral, and they can always rely on us to be able to reach the communities they cannot go into. The thing is that as we work with the communities directly and help them to know what to do in disaster situations, that feeds into what happens eventually at the national level. So the small scale working with the communities enhances and develops Jamaica at the highest level, you know.
Coordination also helps make the most of limited resources.
Standardizing community reporting tools helps to increase efficiency and the quality of services. So regionally, we're using and promoting a community-based disaster risk reduction tool. It's a household survey that was developed by Johns Hopkins University and the American Red Cross that looks at measuring resilience. So while this information is useful on its own, it becomes invaluable when it's standardized. So with a common methodology and data set, we can better compare communities across the region, as well as understand factors affecting a particular area.
Addressing disaster risk in the Caribbean requires a response that goes beyond the community.
Although it's our community work that is most visible, the framework that's being developed both nationally and regionally, this is what guides the work at the community level.
The Red Cross is helping to build community resilience to disaster risk through coordination with civil society, its auxiliary role in support of national governments, and through standardizing training and tools.